Hi, everyone, and welcome to the podcast on this June 4th, 2020. I am Germination editor Marc Zienkiewicz. Big news last week, NRGene has announced it is expanding into Canada. Headquartered in Israel, the company announced they will be opening an office in Saskatchewan. NRGene is a genomics AI company that provides solutions to support agricultural research and breeding. I caught up with NRGene co-founder Gil Ronen for an interview about why the company is coming to Canada and what its plans are for the future. I also spoke briefly with Kirk Westgard, Assistant Deputy Minister of Trade and Export Development with the Government of Saskatchewan. Enjoy. Thanks so much for joining me today, Gil. Can you give our listeners a brief synopsis of NRGene as a company and your background?
I'm over 20 years in the industry. My background, I have a PhD in plant genetics, and ever since I was involved in founding 4 different companies. All of them were focused on developing and commercializing genetic-based products for the agriculture in the healthcare sectors. So this was my career. Of course, NRGene is the last one and the most impactful one. We started the company, me and Mr. Guy Cole, the other co-founder, on 2010, with the very simple aim using genomics to make breeding more efficient. So genomics is all about DNA data. And if you think of breeding plants or animals, it's always about discovering new and more beneficial genetic combinations of different plant varieties or animal breeds that are more useful, more productive. And if you have a lot of genetic information to do that, you can do it in a direct manner rather than wandering in the dark. So this was the aim, and luckily for us, we do exactly that since 2010.
And what made you want to expand into Canada specifically?
We've been involved with multiple projects in Canada, and more specifically in Saskatchewan, around probably any key crop that is cultivated there. So it's wheat or canola or different legumes or potatoes or barley, etc. Of course, in the recent years, also cannabis and hemp. And we had really significant collaborations with different entities, both academic, government, and commercial companies. And we find that the atmosphere and the collaborative way the things work in Canada to most suit us. So, in the US, we also have 2 offices, but they are all focused on marketing and sales. While in Canada, this is where we want to expand and actually be involved in developing better performing varieties. So, our first project started already in 2015, where we were working together with the University of Saskatchewan and Gils in a project led by Professor Curtis Pozniak. And the idea was to first ever decode the wheat genome. So the wheat genome was the only genome of all major crops that was not decoded, on 2015 yet. And the reason for that, because it's really a huge genome. It's like 5 times the human genome, and it's a very, very complex. So there was no available technology to decode, to really find the full sequence of the wheat, which is 17 billion letters, 17 billion chemical compounds in specific orders. So we come with our technology that we developed since 2010, and we claimed that we can do that, and it was huge attempt with like $100 million cost for 10 years before we approached this project that could decode maybe 5% of the genome after 10 years and $100 million. And we claimed that we could do it in 2 months. So actually not many believed in that, but as I said, Professor Curtis Pozniak, together with Professor Asaf Distofeld from Israel, both of them did believe in that and actually worked with us on that. And indeed, after 2 months, we brought the world with the first genome of wheat, and this sped up till today all the breeding and all genetic research around wheat, both bred wheat and dual wheat, and many new beneficial traits were discovered and now been implemented into new varieties. So it was a very big splash. I mean, it was something that took everyone's attention. And after that, we still continue working on wheat together with the University of Saskatchewan on indeed help them in developing better varieties. But this success led to many additional projects in Saskatchewan and all over Canada, as I said, in many additional crops. So anything from canola, legumes, sunflower, potatoes, barley, etc. And we realized that this is the place we want to build true collaboration in which we work together hand in hand with the collaborator, and not only providing the analytics, the software, but also put our experts, put our people into the project and try to come up with roadmaps to better performing seeds. So the climate is perfect. There's a lot of really sophisticated companies in academia working exactly on that. There's a lot of governmental funding. There's a lot of support from the largest global seed companies that all look to this research done in Saskatchewan as a pivotal research towards breeding better crops. And the people are great. So we are a very small company. We don't have we need all the help in order to have to make the best, the most significant impact of our technology. So it was pretty obvious for us that this expansion in the utility of our technology will be done in Canada. So just for example, in the past year before the COVID-19, I was visiting 6 times Canada, and all those visits I've been to many places, but also into Saskatchewan. This is, as I said, this is the most natural, trivial step for us.
Well, and speaking of COVID-19, Gil, this is a time when a lot of businesses are scaling back, and you guys are actually expanding. Can you tell me a little bit about that? How did you manage to make a move like this during a time like this?
This is all about food and food security, and I think COVID-19 even strengthened the idea, that the understanding that all kind of food in the supermarket is not a trivial task, and in order to successfully doing that, you need the whole chain of and everything from the farmer, or even from the breeder to the farmer, and then all the way from different food companies, etc., to the supermarket. So I think there's way more attention now to food security and food sustainability globally. So actually our work and our technology solution that strengthen that, meaning that we accelerate the research toward more sustainable agriculture, more productive agriculture. So it turns that more and more companies approached us, even during the COVID-19, and asked us to support them. And on top of that, the fact that it's all analytics done on the computers, on the cloud, so it's all could be done remotely, so we can speed up and the projects while they are staying at home. so they can work from home using our system on the cloud, and and not stay at the same place, but actually progress. So this is what happened. That actually, solutions like us were more into use during those times, and indeed we still hire people. So we hire people in Canada. We also hire people in Israel in order to support all the flood of projects that we face. And again, I really hope that this will mature to very successful seeds, successful varieties.
As I mentioned, I also talked with Kirk Westgard, Assistant Deputy Minister of Trade and Export Development for the Government of Saskatchewan. He said the announcement of NRGene coming to the province is good news at a time when the COVID-19 pandemic has caused a lot of challenges for provinces throughout the country.
It's exciting to have a company like NRGene come over to Saskatoon and make it their North American home. Saskatchewan is in a very good position right now with all our natural resources, not only the uranium and the potash that we have, we do have also oil and gas, and then also the agriculture, right? We're world leaders in chickpeas and lentils and wheat, so the agriculture industry is very strong. We've seen an increase in the number of protein processors in the province, and like I said, we're in a great position. We have what the world needs: food, fuel, and fertilizer. So I think we're going to do very well coming out of this pandemic.
Thanks for tuning in today. For more great podcasts, visit germannation.ca.